Okay, so today I decided to make some compost again. I haven't made compost in a while. I had some leaves laying around and some old compost laying around, and I was watching some things on Ormus, so I decided to make some really rich compost, mineral rich, Ormus rich compost. This is a pile. Basically, you got to remember that what you're doing is you're layering the compost. 25 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen. So the nitrogen is any kind of manure. I'm using chicken manure and goat manure, and then I'm using the leaves as the carbon layer. Now I have some extra stuff I want to show you. First of all, this is some of the soil that I nipped from the permaculture garden. So you can see here I sifted it, and this is the soil that I grabbed from, 3.5, well, it's almost 5 years of I think 6 almost now. 2010 I started, so it's 5 years, something like that, almost 6 years. And so I went to a section of the garden and I nipped it. So this is the soil from the permaculture garden. I'm putting that in there as well for extra microbes, nutrients, minerals, and especially the microbe life, so the bacteria. Then I got some really nice stuff here as well. This is ashes from a big fire I had. I used to collect leaves from gardens, and then one day it caught fire by accident or by nature, and this is what's left, which is obviously the minerals, because anything you've burned, when you burn something, the fire basically burns off all the carbon, but minerals are rock, or you could say, right, they're solids, so they don't burn off. So this is highly concentrated minerals from all the different trees and stuff that was there. I mean, it was literally like 1,000 square meter and 3 meters high pile, and it caught fire. So it was a big fire. It was, I don't know, I think 12-meter high flames, and anyway, fire trucks were there, and bunches of people, and that's what's left of it. And then this one here is chicken manure. This is just some chicken manure. It's completely decomposed already. It's composted basically, and that's going in there as well as the manure. So here we got some of the old compost that's left, and it wasn't completely decomposed. I just sprayed a little bit here, but you can see it's still a lot of leaves and sticks in there. So I'm going to put that on there as well to make sure I get a nice blend, because it wasn't completely decomposed because it dried out. And so this time I'm going to put it back on the compost pile. And then this afternoon I'm going to try to get some seaweeds from the beach, and I'm not even going to wash them, just straight with salt and everything on. I'm going to put them on there. The minerals in the ocean are abundant, and the Ormus, there's everything in there, all the metals, everything you ever need, any mineral, it's in a nano state or a very small colloidal state. And so that minerals in the ocean, the plants in the ocean, the seaweeds and stuff, contain high amounts of good nutrients. So I'm going to put some of that in there as well. Okay, so this is a couple of layers, basically 25 carbon to 1 nitrogen about. Of course it's never accurate, but something around there. More carbon, 25 times more carbon than nitrogen. The leaves are the carbon, and the nitrogen is, in this case, the manure that I use. So in this case I use 2 types of manure. I got really old manures. They're already cured, and these guys are the goat manure and chicken manure. As I showed before, the chicken manure is completely, it looks like soil, and the goat manure comes from the permaculture garden, which has been there for years. So that's composed. So basically I got several layers, and I'm going to do one more layer here with leaves, then another one with nitrogen, and then after that I'm going to go to the beach and get some of the natural materials from the ocean, the sea kelp, seaweeds and things like that, and put it over here, and then put another layer of leaves, and then the last layer, and then put a nice cloth over it, covering it over. Every single layer I've wetted it, so I've sprayed it with a nozzle, very fine misty nozzle. So every layer that I've covered, and then I spray it, then I put the next layer of carbon, I spray it, next nitrogen, spray it, next carbon, spray it, and so make sure the whole stack is nice and wet. Alright, so I've covered it over. It's about 1 meter high, and it's about 1.5 meters, 2 meters long on average, and put this cover over it, trapping the moist. If you really want to ramp this thing up, you could put an air stone in it and add some more oxygen, like several air stones or air strip. You could also put a little drip system in, but what I'm going to do is every now and then, about once a week, I'm going to come along and empty out the filter of my tilapia tank, the aquaculture tank, and that is going to, like this muck water, this brown muckish water with bacteria in it, it's going to come out. I'm going to put it in a bucket or two, and I'm going to pour it over the top, drenching it with this rich sludge from the tilapia tank. So this is basically here, and it's going to stay here for a couple of months. This is basically the way to do a nice organic mix of compost making, with a variety of different minerals and vitamins and everything in there, and trace minerals as well, including ormus, the nanoparticles, basically the colloidal level, really small particles of the metals from the ocean, which we need from the earth and what we need in our body, ormus rich material. The plants are going to absorb that through their roots, and then when you eat the plant, you're going to be eating rich ormus veggies.